the heart of the Australian outback, where for years any signs of life had all but abandoned the land. Now, an amazing transformation. The brutal has become truly beautiful.
That's water, that's adrenaline, that's turning this place on. It really is. We've got an explosion going on here. Life is happening, it's buzzing.
So it's like turning on a big switch.
It is. This is an oasis in an otherwise dry landscape.
You like talking about this stuff, don't you?
Who bloody wouldn't?
For 8 long years, all of this century, this place has been a drought-crippled, unforgiving, ugly wasteland. But just add water, and this is what you get. A world away from their coastal home, not one, not two, but thousands upon thousands of pelicans. Perched on an inland oasis that a few months ago wasn't there. There they are, just up there.
You got them spotted?
Yeah. I've been swept up in the passion of Professor Martin Toms from Canberra University. He lives and breathes the dramatic moods of Australia's inland rivers, and right now he's in his natural element.
Look, they're just beautiful. I've never seen anything like it.
Nature's B-52s, and just watch out for their dropping of the payload.
They're right over us.
Yeah.
Martin reads rivers, the soil and wildlife like we read a book. But this pelican tale has one intriguing mystery.
How on earth do they know to come here that this is where the water is?
Mate, that's a $65 million question. What we reckon is that they're stimulated to move in the Northern Territory by climate. Then they start tracking the water in the rivers. So the rivers then become water highways. They'll spot the lakes, which stand out like big beacons, great feeding sites and breeding sites. Put them both together and what do you got? 5-star accommodation, eh?
And how many do you reckon have checked in?
Around about 20,000, I reckon.
Look at them, there they go again.
Yeah.
Look.
360 degrees, isn't it? An environmental IMAX cinema.
And scenes like these are being played out across swathes of Queensland and northwestern New South Wales. Out of the cake dust and clay pans, a symphony of species. Soaking summer rains and creeping floods have brought to life the great, the small, the deadly, and the ungainly.
This is a boom, a part of the classic Australian boom-bust cycle that we get in inland Australia. It booms and then it busts. We give it a drink, it booms, it starts to dry out and it goes into a bust.
As floodwaters fan out like a film of oil over the ocean, nature's cashing in on the boom. The intensity of light and life can be almost blinding, and nowhere is it more brilliant than Narran Lakes in northwest New South Wales.
A few months back, what was this place like?
Peter, you wouldn't believe it. 3 months ago, you could drive a vehicle out here. There wasn't a drop of water in the place. It was sun-baked and the ground had big cracks in it. It was such a contrast now. You can look at it now, it's chock-a-block full of water. There's water for miles out here now. It's just beautiful.
National Parks Ranger Rob Smith has got one of the best jobs going, especially right now. He's watched Narran Lakes fill up with the equivalent of 20,000 Olympic swimming pools worth of water, the lifeblood of this internationally protected wetland.
As soon as we got water here, within days, literally within days, there was thousands of straw-necked ibis and other birds just turning up, starting to make nests.
25 bird species in all, and they just keep coming from as far afield as Japan, North Korea and China. At latest count, 100,000 birds crammed into just a few square kilometres to breed and feed.
There's pretty well a bird on every corner, if you like. Certainly a nest on every corner. These nests, you can see, they're great little works of engineering, really. They come and they trample down all this lignum bush that's all around us here. They lift it up out of the water, and that keeps them nice and safe and secure.
Why are the nests in the middle of the water, Rob?
It's a bit like a moat, if you like. You know, they're trying to protect themselves from all sorts of predators, whether it's goannas that are this big, through to whistling kites, through to crows, all sorts of things. And they're just a lot better off if they're out here on the water away from those predators.
These little ones are just a few weeks old. You want to cuddle them, make them safe. Nature's looking after them, but with equal doses of care and cruelty. If the water goes up or down just a little bit, then their very survival, their existence, is on a knife's edge.
If the water drops away, well, there's every chance the whole colony might abandon their nests, pack up and leave.
So this is a narrow window of opportunity, if you like.
Yeah, these birds have got to make the most of it while they can, and at the moment the birds are really thriving. The conditions around here are just beautiful.
If all this looks finely choreographed, it's because it's been refined by time. This ancient floating maternity ward has been operating like this for 80,000 years. But the drought has been so fierce and so prolonged that these birds nearly didn't make it here to breed.
It's been a long time between drinks for these birds. We haven't seen a breeding event of any size out here for 8 years, and these birds only have a lifespan for breeding of around about the 8 years. So we were on tenterhooks about whether they'd ever come back and breed.
So the significance of this?
We haven't seen this big a gap between breeding in all the time we've been taking records out here for over 30, 40, 50 years.
It's just before sunset, and tens of thousands of ibis are returning from their day's feeding. Listen to the noise. They're communicating with each other, looking for their nests before they bunk down for the night.
As the birds fall silent, a whole new cast of critters come out to play.
We've got a water hole just down here.
Yeah, let's go and check it out.
An all-important part of this rich, complex food web that's so easy to miss.
Have a look here. Here we go.
They too have been hanging out for the rains, many of them hibernating through the drought deep underground, safe from the scorching sun.
This little fella, what's his story?
Well, he's probably been living underground for about 3 or 4 years. And when the floodwaters came down, he sort of put his head up, had a feed, and started to enjoy life.
What was his first feed?
You'll never believe it. Probably his skin, his own skin.
His skin?
Yeah, his own skin.
He wants to get in the water.
Well,
He's had enough.
I reckon we let him go, don't you?
Yeah. But he'll be food for someone else, a bird or...
Yeah, he will be. But that's part of the food web system out here. Yeah.
Everything and everyone has had a bumper summer. From Murra to Mulliara, properties are buzzing with the bustle of mustering. For now, it's only fattened up feral goats, the one stock hardy enough to handle the drought. And for the past few years, the only source of income for farmers like Mark Pritchard.
So you've got a chance now. This is a window for you, I suppose.
Yeah, it's that sort of country. It's either on or off, you know, like when it's here it's good and when it's not, it's not, you know, it's pretty hard.
The big dry has driven families from this district in droves. Once prosperous homesteads are now empty shells.
Is this good feed for the animals, Dad?
Remarkably, Mark and wife Susie have swum against the tide. 4 years ago, they were city slickers, only to leave behind a good business and comfortable home in Sydney and move their family here. They took on 62,000 acres of marginal land at the height of the worst drought in a century.
There it was dirt and dust and hot when we arrived. It was 47 degrees and you get a wind and there's dust storms and there's no ground cover or anything whatsoever. The kangaroos were dying under the trees. Everything was dying round you. There was box trees and box swamps falling over.
And Susie, when you pulled up at the front gate and Mark said, "This is our new home," what did it look like?
A lot of work. It was just harsh. And everything seemed to be hard. So sometimes you feel like locking yourself inside, that's for sure.
And sometimes you think, why am I here?
Yes, you do.
The gamble has paid off. Where there were clay pans, lakes have sprung up on their property overnight. Kids aren't wasting time getting into the peculiar water sports
Wish me luck, kids.
of the outback.
Can you believe what you're seeing out there?
No, it is fantastic, like with the water and everything, and you know, it's like liquid gold, I could say, and that's the magic of nature, I think.
Everyone is breathing a bit easier.
I'd rather be bogged in mud than dust, that's for sure.
You can make money out of mud, Stewie, but you can't make money out of dust.
No!
Money is coming back to this bit of bush. So at Hungerford on the New South Wales-Queensland border, official population all of 7, the old pub is doing brisk business.
Yes.
And out on the main drag, a bit of moisture on the pitch has meant for some fierce competition.
I'll see how far I can hit it.
Without knocking the...
Oh!
I'd love to see that one.
These kids out here, most of the children in this area have only known drought. Even a green grass around your home. I mean, there's simple things that people probably in the city take for granted, but we're all getting gardens. Again, a lot of my friends have had their lawn die because they've had no water.
Hold on an angle, so when you hit it, you hit it and it goes flying. Go! Go! No, you gotta run! Not around! You gotta run!
I'm not very good, am I?
No, hit that.
So in a couple of words, what's the water mean? What's the impact has it had on you?
Relief. Relief.
Farmers and critters know that these days of clover won't last forever. This land is governed by an inevitable truth. After the boom, must come the bust. The farmer's great gamble is how long the next dry will last. The scientists' growing worry that we're messing with Mother Nature's ability to repeat her glorious displays.
Our concern is really that the timing between drinks is changing. It's getting longer because of climate change, because of development. And the question is, does that impact with the ability of this system here to bounce back after a bust?
Being out here, it feels like the show will go on forever. But make no mistake, this is one strictly limited season.
We're being very privileged to see this thing evolve from a dry landscape. We're watching this complete cycle. Who wouldn't be touched by it? Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be? This is just absolutely magic. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Tara Brown. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.